Yeah, I'm trying to share the stream. Mm.
You don't have to share it, just link it. Just drop the link to the stream. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's a
like the
Discord or...
link. Okay. Just don't find the link.
You don't know the channel of your own stream? Are you streaming on YouTube or Twitch?
On Twitch, I know the channel, but I didn't find the quick link. But I think
What's your
this
Twitch
should
name? I
work.
can search it directly.
I'm Burino.
Can you type it in the chat for me, in our Discord chat, so I can see the spelling?
Yeah, but I am getting the link now. I think
Thank you.
that's it.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to mute on Discord here. Spend a couple of seconds chatting on the stream, and I'll try to get you some feedback on the audio.
Okay.
You're not chatting? Start talking.
Yeah, oh, so I should be speaking. I thought you were speaking. Okay. Yeah, we are
Okay,
waiting
let's have a
for...
just a brief conversation here for a second. I want to... Yeah, mute me on Discord so that...
I should mute you,
Or
right?
rather, not mute me, sorry. Mute yourself on Discord for a second, because what I want to get is the relative audio volumes, and then talk to me here. And what we can do is try. I'll hear it come through the stream, and I'll see what the...
Okay, so I muted myself on Discord.
Yeah. Okay. So you're a little... Essentially, you're a little quiet relative to me on the stream output.
Yeah. But I don't know.
So there's two things you can do. Probably the easiest is just to turn me down in Discord.
Yeah, on Discord.
Okay. So right-click my icon in Discord and just reduce my volume by a little bit, maybe like 20%.
Okay. I did it.
Okay, let's try now. So let's do that same thing again.
I'm still muted.
Talk to me.
Yeah, hello, Filthy. Thank you for helping.
Okay. I think that's a little bit better. I'm maybe still a little bit louder than you, but not too much. If you could turn up your on your OBS,
yeah, I
we're
already
looking
have
for
it
like
turned
a
up
slightly
by
louder mic output from you.
10 decibels, so I was afraid to go much higher, but I don't know what's a good number.
Okay. Unmute yourself on Discord and unmute me on Discord. All right. It's roughly okay, I think, from here, honestly. So we'll just have to try to speak up if we're getting real quiet. All right.
Okay. I try to speak a bit louder than...
Yeah, or the other thing that's easy to do, depending on what your microphone setup is just move closer to the microphone. It will make you louder as well.
Yeah, I'm practically in the microphone already, so it's just a crappy thing I bought a while ago.
Not observer slots in this games?
Yeah, I'm not seeing the game, so... Ah, now it's on.
Passes in the communication channel.
Ah, Fluffy.
Yeah, the way I said it that way, as opposed to just telling you that, was to generally when you're streaming passwords, you try not to display them on the stream because then other people can use them. But anyways,
oh, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. All right, so click on one of the player names. There you go, and that will join you in. Doesn't matter which one because you're just joining as an observer. And now
yeah, I know.
Oh, maybe stream lag there. I saw you kind of fumbling around on the... All right. So, hey, Blush, I'm Filthy. Nice to meet you.
Hello, I'm Blush.
kind of exciting. We got Fluffy versus Saber here. This is the losers bracket. I think Saber has a couple wins now in that bracket, so they're both on their last life. Fluffy got knocked out by Oro earlier, and Saber, I don't remember who knocked him out. Let me go pull it up and I'll find out.
Yeah,
Saber got knocked out by Aaron, I think. Go on.
I'd be interested to see the starts of the players because I know Sabertooth likes unique units a lot, so maybe he starts as a judge.
Oh, I see. As the player starts. Yeah, well, we're going to be seeing that selected here. If we look at this map, this is quite a large map, right? They're playing on Coastal Rain Basin Tiny. So Tiny is the second size, and Ultra Wide, which is as large as it gets. I think Coastal Rain Basin is the largest of the map pool too. So this is the largest dual map that we can get to play on, and that's what they have selected. I believe it was Saber who chose the map, which means that Fluffy will have first option of either picking or telling his opponent to pick first. He'll have the choice of doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't know if Big Macs favor Fluffy or not, because I don't know. I saw him streaming his single player game, and I don't want to be very critical, but I don't think his economy management is that great. And on a bigger
Well,
map, I'm
certainly
curious how it
Saber's
works
betting on
out.
that. Because what Saber's expectation is why he's picking a map this large, is he's expecting that he can do a better economy game than Fluffy, or at the very least, not have to deal with early aggression that Fluffy's pretty much well known for in this community, right?
Yeah, that's my
It
thinking
looks like
as well.
Fluffy has chosen to pick first. He's gone with Carthage. He has picked a affable schemer, so presumably going to be planning on governing, and he's opened riders.
That's an interesting family start.
Yeah, rider opening makes some sense. Less sense with schemer. So, well, yes and no, I suppose. So what it does give him is it gives him an extra unit to move right off the get-go, which means with schemer orders, you do want extra units to move, and he's got an extra scout that's created for free as part of the rider family, so he will have another unit to move around. This will let him rapidly either harvest if he wants to around his area, or scout to find legitimacy, right? And he's doing a bit of both. You can see that first scout moving through both scouting and harvesting. The other upside of that family is, of course, the 2 orders you get for free when you settle them as their family seat. So he's opened with the maximum amount of starting orders you basically can get in the game, with a schemer leader and a rider start. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. uh, yeah, think I still prefer riders as a second family, but it would be interesting
And
to see.
also opened 16. So he is doing the trick of, if you open, he can't do it as riders though. He doesn't have a, I wonder, he can't get a tutor off. What he can do is fish for the event, because he's not taken patrons or traders. He's taken riders, so there's no free courtier. But he has chosen to be 16 here, so his leader cannot currently enter either the city or a unit for 2 years. So I wonder why he's chosen to go 18 here.
Oh, you can tutor your dude if you start at 16?
If you can generate the resources, if you start under 18 and you have a courtier from patrons or traders, yeah, you can get a tutor off.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Before you're gonna. Yeah, well, it's a kind of a niche strategy, but it's been seeing a little bit of play in the tournament. It's kind of interesting. I wonder if he meant to do that and then chose riders last second, or if he just didn't really mean to do that. There's another thing that happens. There's an event that can trigger if you're under 18 that can give you something too. It doesn't have to just be a tutor, but it's a percent-based thing, so it's not guaranteed. So I wonder if he's just fishing for the event. Interesting, either way.
Yeah, I saw Akaras started at 16 against me, but I thought it was just so you like that your leader lives a bit longer on average.
No,
Didn't know
it's
about
designed
the
to
tutor
get some
trick.
stats. looking through this. Looks like Saber's still thinking about what he wants to do. The start's fairly interesting. Oh, there it goes. He's chosen. Is this a rare Axum sighting? It is. It's exciting.
I think he
And
played
which...
Axum previous game as well.
Okay. He has chosen a... That's a trader start. So trader Axum start. It is coastal rain basin. Hypothetically, traders are going to be pretty decent value. And if we look at the map, there are some nice sea resources. Not a million, but a good chunk still. He opened 18, although he does have the courtier. And he went affable as well. So both players playing affable, both players choosing essentially to commit their leaders to governing if they're playing affable.
Alright, it's a builder. Interesting.
Yeah, builder versus schemer. Yeah, I do think schemer is heavily... I think schemer is much better than builder on a smaller map. But the larger the map gets, I think the less true that is, the more builder catches up. And builder plays really nicely with the trader capital, especially if you're governing, because your discipline multiplier affects your city gold, which is really nice. Yeah, Axum versus Carthage.
Not much gold in the capital though, so
No.
why traders?
Why traders?
Yeah.
There's a number of things the traders do well, right? He probably doesn't want to open champions here. I don't know what his third will be. Patrons don't seem like a very good start here. I think more the question for me is why Axum.
Yeah.
But traders make a very good starting family, pretty much regardless of territory. Yes, it's better when you have nets, and yes, it's better when you have money. But the fair is just a really, really powerful building to get started with like that. If we look at the wonders, pyramids in this game, Geron Aqueduct in this game, Jebel in this game, Museum in this game. These are very powerful wonders, falling off a bit at Legendary. None of the really powerful Legendary wonders in here, but a ton of good wonders prior to that. Not easy stone for the starting locations anyways. They have marble a little bit, but not much else. So that might be interesting depending on how that comes out. Builders very good at snagging wonders early, but not particularly great ways to generate the resources the builders will need to be snagging those wonders. All right, I don't know how they're probably set up to play a lot of simulturns, so we're going to be bouncing around a bit here because there's no he's not going to switch back and forth nicely for the teams.
Yeah. Okay.
But we can see already those two scouts paying off. If you click on at the top of your screen, if you click on the little hourglass next to the beaker and have it through one player's perspective, you can see what they've scouted on the top left.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And we can see those double scouts doing work for Fluffy to begin with. But yeah, interesting that they got Trader and Rider out of Marble Barley. I don't know if I would have come to that conclusion or not. All right, so Fluffy has met the Thracians. And if we will be seeing some unit pickups, scouts in range.
I see that Axum is expanding to the coast, so probably a trader's second city. It's a kind of a...
Yeah, they have gone slightly different in their movement patterns already, with Fluffy going straight towards the center of the map, and Axum, Saber up here, going for that coastal expand. It's funny because he has chosen traders, but that start is very nice for traders. I wonder if he'll be incentivized to go patrons. There are 3 pearls there, which are precious resources, so the patrons will get that bonus if they want it. I don't know that you want that necessarily in your expand, but I said there's good wonders here, so maybe he'll be thinking about the culture race.
Yeah, but I think he can get all the culture with the fair in the capital, but still it's nice to have a big patron city.
Yeah, it's tough to say, honestly, because he doesn't know that Fluffy has chosen to settle riders first, so he doesn't know which of the factions, the families he's competing against. A patron with 3 pearls will definitely beat this starting city in terms of culture. So he may not need to because he maybe isn't racing Fluffy for wonders, but if he thinks he is, he may be incentivized to drop the patron seat over by the triple pearls because that will be a very strong culture city.
Any good naval wonders? The Colossus is there, but I think it's easier to buy your way to the coast than to bring another city up to strong. But we will see.
Well, there's other benefits. This is a large map. Your back city, patron city, can be turned into a pretty big science producer if you can take the time to invest in specialists, and the patron capital doesn't generate unhappiness. Essentially, with all the level ups for culture removing unhappiness levels, it becomes a very good science producer. We might see that.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see what Saber chooses because it is, if nothing else, it complicates his decision slightly. He's force marching that first settler, and we're going to see right now what he's chosen. He's chosen champion. I suppose he just wants the clearing potential down right now, but I don't. And it is coastal. I mean, it will let him build boats there, but it's not a great champion city. It does have a ton of culture, but very wasted, right? He's got access to patrons and traders, and he's taking a triple pearl city and giving it to champs. Don't love that decision.
Yeah, I think I would have taken one of those two as well. Like, you can put the champions in the free site if you want them.
Yeah.
It's not as close to the enemy, but
Downsides and upsides to opening with your military seat, like Fluffy has done. One of the downsides, or rather one of the upsides of opening with the military seat, is you're not forced to put out that military city right off the bat, like the Axum pretty much were in this game. He needs to get a military unit to clear, so he pretty much has to make his next city his military capital, and he's chosen to clear a site that doesn't really fit that very well, but that's the site he's at. So I kind of agree with you. I almost would have preferred to see him just put it in the back there. But having your military production site on the water is going to be really good in coastal rain basin because eventually both players are going to own the whole coastline, and being able to rapidly move your units to the front is a big deal. So there's some upsides to that too.
I was wondering if Fluffy would go for the double settler at the start, because I think that's if you can get away with it, it's very fast on Carthage especially, but you can do it on other nations as well. We saw it on Pasquala almost every game.
Yeah, he's decided traders, which I get. He's Carthage. He needs to fuel his money, and it's not a bad trader site. It has gems there that he can upgrade for the fair multiplier hitting that. He's tech stone boost, and he's got fur available in that city a little bit later once he gets a shrine down or something. The worker first out of that suggests to me that he's thinking about either the money or the another site to generate settlers without getting that weed online.
How do I switch to a global perspective?
What is a global perspective?
I mean, like I'm in observer perspective on Carthage right now. So, like,
how do you go to like neither? I'm not sure. I only ever look through their players, and maybe a way, maybe chat knows. Scions in chat, you know. I always watch from one player's perspective. Granary from Saber. Pretty interesting. It's going to boost that barley right off the bat. It's a nice pickup with the tech tree that Axum has available to them, something Carthage does not have. Presumably Carthage, I haven't looked yet, presumably Carthage has taken centralization. He has. So centralization on Carthage. Perhaps a downside for opening riders over traders there, which is the cap's going to take a little bit longer to get to that next culture level. Well, I guess not necessarily. I guess there's no extra culture on a trader site without nets, so I guess maybe the same there. Where's the... Okay. So the slinger's healing up. The militia is solo clearing a campsite right now. Which is, I mean, you can do it. You're fighting 2 ranged units and you're standing in forest, so 50% damage reduction. Pretty decent. Looks like he's a little order shy. His scout hasn't... Well, his scout actually moved this turn. Again, I want to just take a quick look at the amount of reveals going on. Seems to heavily favor the double scouts. No surprises there. Fluffy has actually almost got 2 Saber right now. He's crossing the midpoint now with one of his scouts. Ultra Wide Carthage. Well, the Carthage player is not the player who picked Ultra Wide. The opposing player picked Ultra Wide, and Carthage was the player who did not pick the map's choice. But yes, that is the game that we're playing right now, Chris. Or watching anyways. Fluffy's picked up one Thracian unit, the skirmisher. Nowhere to upgrade quite yet. We're nowhere
Nice
close anyway.
hero slinger for Carthage. I always love starting with hero general. So nice to
Yeah.
walk around and heal.
Yeah, exactly. Makes it so you don't have to backtrack, which is quite nice. So another slinger out for Axum out of their champ seat. Makes a lot of sense there. And their barley and granary online. So quite a lot of growth in the capital. Something like 20 a turn right now with that affable builder in there. Yeah, Elgris. Not totally sure what's caused the Axum pick. That still remains a bit of a mystery for me, except that perhaps he just wants to have traders available on this. Traders and champions is maybe the logic there. Perhaps that's just enough. Those two families pushing him towards that. Especially if he did pick second, so it was a counter pick to Carthage.
Yeah, and I don't know, but I think he just likes Axum. So if you are comfortable with a nation, even if it's not the best start, maybe it's okay to pick them.
Well, I mean, better or worse, the builder versus schemer pick has Fluffy making double the science per turn of Saber, and has banked almost double the total science at this stage in the game. It's 11 to 21 per turn, which isn't going to be much quite yet, but that needs to be addressed by the builder player, one way or the other. I'll have to see what it is. In my experiences with Saber, he is certainly focused on the econ side of the game quite often. So I expect he'll be quite sensitive to being so far behind in science. See, I wonder what he'll do about it. He's not made it to 400 civics, one of the downsides of picking up builder. Although his builder has just picked up 2 charisma from somewhere, presumably one of the events, gracious from somewhere, which is going to help him a lot. His Axum does start with access to labor law, so freedom or slavery here, but not enough civics to get it going quite yet. Going to be strong on a map this big, both freedom early for spamming out all the settlers and workers you're going to have to build, and then of course when you have so many cities, slavery later is also very good. All right, let's take a look at the tags in the tech tree. Not much going on there, or rather Fluffy not tagging anything for us to see his path. He's playing with fire there a bit on his hero. I guess he can heal there. His hero will die
Sabertooth
if it takes another attack.
has nothing picked either.
Say that again?
Sabertooth has nothing tagged either, so we are in the dark.
Gotcha. So this will be Fluffy's first coastal expand in a moment. He's settled Third City Statesman. I wonder what his logic was for the triple marble city not being a statesman city, but being he must just have really wanted that second scout from the get-go with riders, because that would have been a great statesman city if he was playing statesman anyways. Of course, we're going to see that statesman one way or the other on a map this big, I think. So I expect that this next site that he's clearing will go towards traders. It is a very nice trader site.
Yeah.
And what about Axum? Have they chosen their third family yet? That's kind of a big one for them. They currently have access to patrons, and they've already passed a beautiful patron site. So, but there's more. There's a lot of precious resources on this map, right?
Yeah, they
Gems,
are going
gold,
gold, yeah.
pearls, the rest of it. It's the standard high density city sites. I believe this is pretty much standard map. Let me just double check any of the settings, see if I see anything out of the way. This is resource density medium, city spacing tight, city site number maximum is the setting here. I wonder if we will see clerics from Axum for their third.
Yeah, clerics. I'm kind of conflicted about clerics because I love religion, but clerics are kind of very slow. But maybe on a big map like this, it's okay.
Yeah, there's more than that too, though. Jebel is in the game, and
Yeah,
Jebel gives
Jabal
the
is
temple, and clerics will double the yields of temples and monasteries, right?
that's true.
So that may be
So
something that the builder Saber is considering, is that synergy. It's also quite a lot of orders. On a map this big, getting divine rule for free, and or not, yeah, divine rule for free, and then teching for polytheism relatively early in the game can also be a lot of orders. And the fact he passed that champion site and didn't make that a patron capital, I suspect we're going to see clerics, but maybe he'll surprise me.
that's cool. I'm always a fan of religion, so
Weird move. Just see a naked granary in the champ city from Saber. That should literally just growth. So don't know if he's planning to produce more settlers there or if he just wants his champion seat having higher population. But it's not benefiting any actual farms around it right now. Nothing stops him from building farms around it, but it's not by a farm resource, which is generally going to see. Was clerics?
yep.
Double gold site for clerics. So he settled triple. And he had no respect for patrons, clearly. Like past triple pearls for champion, past double gold for cleric.
Poor patrons.
Yeah, poor patrons. I actually think they're a decent family. Not incredible, but decent.
And especially with it's a good combo with traders because you can put the literature in the capital.
Yeah, exactly. Get an instant boost from your fare for a 6 culture return in the capital if you settle a patron seat. That's a good call. All right, another quick look at the scouting for me. Fluffy has now explored about a third of the map, maybe half at this point by like just volume of unexplored, and Axum sitting on maybe a tenth or maybe a 15%, something like that. Really not a lot of sight. I assume what's happening here is Axum is finding too many units to move per turn as a builder. Then so his scout is just staying put a lot of the time. He just doesn't have the orders to move it. Where that schemer start with double scouts and rider is giving a much higher number of orders per turn. Fluffy has purchased orders 11 times. It's turn 15, so pretty much every single turn using 10 extra orders a turn.
Yep. Yeah, I think Screamer is very good on big maps as well. Like
Yeah,
speeding up expansion. You can even run your builders, like your workers, on Schemer orders for a long while. So
yeah, really interesting. The schemers. The first transition is really painful for schemers. From going from your first leader to the second leader often is very, very painful.
yeah, I was lucky and my Schemer died into another Schemer. So
There you go. Your game with Alcris is still ongoing, right?
yeah,
Gotcha. Wasn't able to watch that. I cast the first game this morning, the one before you guys started, and then I'm casting this one. So I will watch that one as soon as the replays hit because I've been enjoying that game. So what if anything are we seeing of particular interest here? Carthage picking up labor law tech. Do we see freedom or slavery assigned? We saw one of the laws assigned on Axum. Axum now has divine rule and slavery. Straight slavery that's strange to me. This is going to be a big map. It's going to be a lot of settlers and a lot of workers. Is this a wonder play, perhaps? Wanting the early stone from somewhere?
Carthage also has a freedom ambition, so it will be kind of nice for them.
Yeah, we'll expect to see that. Yeah, it makes the slavery pick up at Axum doubly weird because if you look, Axum has 6 mines as a ambition, so they're going to be likely putting some mines down anyways.
Yeah.
I doubt they're going to be able to spend that level of iron this early, so it's really about the stone then, I guess.
Yeah, I was kind of undervaluing freedom for a while, but I did some math and it's good.
Freedom's good. Good. Older shopkeeper from Fluffy with a diplomat to speed that up in the trader seat. It's kind of nice to see that early. It's going to be a lot of science across the course of the game if you get that out. Super powerful specialist. He's used a worker to block a site to the south to give time. I don't know if this is to delay, and he's force marched it. So I assume this is to prevent that barbarian from walking back and becoming a tribal, respawning the camp.
I wonder if
Might have been a timing thing.
Sabertooth is trying to snake along the coast the entire way to the middle of the map because it kind of looks like what he's doing. Like
It's a
he's
bit spooky if that's his plan. He has struggled a couple of his games with tribal and barbarian stuff, and one of the things that happens if you expand too horizontal in this game relative to vertical is you will get a strip of tribes or barbarians raiding you from below or above you, depending on how you expanded. So he might be setting himself up for a bit of mid-game pain with the tribes if he expands too far east too fast.
yeah, but like you can see, the settler is moving forward. It's not going to the free side, so kind of
Yep.
looks like that's what he's doing.
Yeah, there's costs to that action though. Yes, he does start contesting the middle stuff earlier, and he gets mobility along the sea, but it does come at a cost. That's a beautiful trader site, though. Depending on, I don't know, I haven't hovered the settler yet, but can you get all 4 of those sea resources? You can get 3 of the 4 resources immediately, and with not too much work, he can actually get 5 sea resources on that Dane site if he does make that trader site.
The settler gets 3 resources
So
at
said,
first.
but he can get to 5 very quickly from there. There's
Yeah.
just one tile on pretty much either side to do that. So Fluffy taking a bit more of a fill in all of the spots clearing. His units have been all over the place, haven't they? This is the same hero slinger that was up north like a couple turns ago, right? So just
Yeah.
really bouncing around with that unit. Not super efficient pathing there, but maybe nowhere else to go.
Oh,
He is currently truced with the Thracians, which means that his next expand, the next site he clears anyways, is going to have to be war with the Thracians if he wants to go that route. Because every site in between him and every other site now is a Thracian site.
I wonder where he got the cunning from. It's not
That may have been the event. That is possible to get that from the under 16 event. I didn't see what turn it was. Is there an
yeah.
event on there? Yeah,
Yeah,
turn 2,
it's
right? So that
inspired by
is
the core.
yeah, that's the payoff for having gone, or one of the payoffs, potential payoffs for having gone a 16-year-old as opposed to an 18-year-old. It's not a bad boost, but it is a bit situational, and it does take one of your strength slots up. So Fluffy Scout sitting over there watching the capital. We do see the shrine, first shrine down for the Axum, founding paganism in the cap. It's a gross shrine, so presumably they assume they're going to be spamming settlers. And while this is great, it does mean they are not upgrading their Elder Shopkeeper. So maybe one of the strengths of Fluffy settling and upgrading that Elder Shopkeeper is going to be even more science. And it's currently 11 versus 22 versus 12 science favoring Fluffy, and he's about to finish that Elder Shopkeeper for another 4, which is going to start adding up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Fluffy has gone freedom. Makes sense with his both his ambition as well as just for this early in the game. And as Carthage, he's essentially sitting on unlimited civics at the moment. He must be happy enough with his family standing, although I don't know how you can ever be happy enough with your family standing because he's not assigned an ambassador. Perhaps he doesn't have a good candidate, although he does have plenty of civics to do so.
I wonder if we will see an early Zoroastrianism because on big maps it's nice to get it out early so you can let it spread on its own.
Yeah, and we do have a shrine down in the capital of either of both empires, rather. I haven't seen a second shrine come down yet. Certainly not from Fluffy.
Yeah,
Let me have a
they're
look around in
not
Axum.
building it yet, and it looks like it's another mine in the statesmanship.
But I do see second and third shrine coming out for Axum. So clearly playing
Ah,
into the that's but they're doing that deliberately, right? Because they have divine rule. So each shrine is also an order. So it makes a lot of sense that they get them down nice and quickly. I wonder if he will also then do something like upgrade one of the secondary shrines. Does he want to do it in his champion seat? Probably not, but he might. Fluffy is going to have seen that. That scout just moved through, getting a good eyeball of the current progress of Saber, seeing the shrine and the site that they're currently clearing.
So, double settlers coming out. I don't know if he has enough sites cleared for that yet. Oh, triple settler for Axel.
I assume the price of food is skyrocketing. It's up to 5.6 right now. Neither of them particularly generating a lot of food. Fluffy at 22, Saber at like 1 or something. But both of them being fueled by their trader economy. I see a lot of purchasing, I think. I wonder how much that will impact the Wonder game, though. If you rely too heavily on gold, you will find that it doesn't go as far as you'd like it to. So I'm quite curious about that. The moment we saw both of them, I believe, take the stone tech, right? Like the 200 stone boost. And currently, Axum with a bank of 200 stone, making 20 a turn, and Fluffy with a bank of 19 stone, making 18 a turn. Maybe Fluffy didn't take the stone income. I thought I saw it. Maybe I did not.
The stone boost?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was researching it, but
So where's his stone then? Did he sell it off?
maybe he switched away.
Yeah, not sure.
Definitely not spent on buildings, so...
Yeah, exactly. There's only one shrine down his empire. Nothing else costs any stone. So either it was event or gold related, or he did not take that after all. And I just imagined it and actually saw Axum doing it. It can be tough to remember sometimes.
Oh.
I do love this cheeky schemer scouts, just like literally planted inside the other player's city because they're just permanently invisible. Just good vision. All right, city count relatively close, right? 4-3 right now, favoring Fluffy, but the fourth city for Axum, for Saber coming down next turn. And it is quite a bit further away. He's chosen to march all the way up the coast. Still not to the midline, though. There's 2 cities on the center line, both Thracian cities, and quite a lot of cities in the center area. But the point that Saber is expanding to right now is still a few cities away from the center. Is the last coastal city, because there's no asymmetrical coastal city, and there's a large gap in between that coastal city and Fluffy's last coastal city. But by and large, that is it for coastal settles. Only 2, and one of them is his champ seat. I wonder if that will matter. I suppose Colossus in the champ seat is pretty sweet for that promotion all game long. So maybe we'll see that from Axum with the triple, as Sion pointed out in chat, triple culture resources in a champion seat is useful for getting to your timings for your law units, your UUs. But thus far, no one can get enough stone generation going to make serious wonder stuff going on. I haven't seen Saber stack any of his workers. Have you seen him do that? Taking advantage at all of the actual builder bonus? He has short orders. Depending on how much moving you're doing, it can be good. Like his two workers in the capital probably ought to be stacking up, although his other workers maybe not quite as important.
Is that more efficient? Like, yes,
it depends how much movement you're doing. You don't spend the order per turn to help, and you do get the progress from that. But if you're moving every turn, it's not efficient. No.
I thought it was spending the the helping
it's possible
workers.
I'm wrong, but my understanding of builder is the second worker does not cost orders. Like it costs it to move it around, but it doesn't cost orders per turn that it sits on the thing.
I don't know. Maybe someone in chat can clarify it, but I always thought that it also costs orders to help the starting worker. Yeah, they are saying
it does cost extra orders. Huh.
Yeah, I don't really stack them besides wonders. Like,
I guess it only starts charging you on the next turn then, because it doesn't take an order. It takes you the order to move it there, obviously, but you don't spend an order to begin production, and the progress for the site is valued immediately. Like next turn it happens, right? So maybe that's where I'm missing it. Anyway. So is it more efficient? That's a better question with more information, I guess. That's funny. That's a faction I've used, or a archetype I've used a hell of a lot.
Oh, Fluffy's blocking the site.
Yeah. I do like this move here by Saber. He says, okay, you want to block that site? Well, I've got another site right over here cleared. So he'll just plop that down. And I don't think it messes up much, maybe a little bit, because that site is the site that Fluffy's blocking is actually quite a good settler generating site with triple, actually quadruple if you get the fish by the horses, quadruple growth resources and nets. So the trader multiplier is going to be big for that.
Yeah, but he's got another settler coming in 2 turns, so it's kind of okay.
This is an interesting byproduct of the game mode they're playing on right now, because this is not turn-based. This is simul, right? So what happened is Fluffy moved his scout in. The worker Saber on the settler said, okay, I'm going to move away from that, and moved south again. And then Fluffy said, well, fine, if you're not coming up here, I'm going to move that scout away and not expose it. And that all happened on Saber's turn, because currently not turn-based.
Yeah, I don't really like these sorts of simultaneous things.
Did choose to go back up, so basically cost him a turn and some orders to with that scout block. Maybe valuable, maybe not. Cost the orders to move the scout as well. Was a trader city, as expected, and is settled as far forward as he can. Yeah, I suppose that's great. It's the horses.
Farmer in the capital.
Farmer in the cap. That's fairly interesting. Ahead, he's going farmer ahead of elder shopkeeper.
Yeah, and I like saving them for the stonecutters as well. I think it's better than just a farmer.
I mean, I get what he's doing here. I mean, he's got a granary down, so the boost from that will multiply, and by specializing the barley, he does get the marble inside his borders. But I do think that he needs to be worried about, Saber needs to be focused a little bit on his science, and he's at 14 right now, and that shopkeeper is worth quite a lot of science, while Fluffy is at 30 now, making a pretty, maintaining that 2-to-1 ratio on science that's been there all game long. Cumulative science is now 200 in Fluffy's favor, and when Saber only has 250 science, and Fluffy has 450 science, that's starting to be a tech or two ahead now. First level tech 120, second level tech 200. So about a second level tech ahead at the moment.
Yeah, but it's kind of hard to catch up when your opponent's leader alone is producing, I don't know how many science, like almost 8. Yeah, 8.
Producing 8 science right now. Yeah. It's not so much of, and it's also, I mean, he's chosen builder versus schemer. So what the trade-off you're doing there needs to account for that to some degree, right? So the advantage he's generating from builder needs to make up for the science he's losing by playing builder. So I am curious if that is what's happening right now. At the moment, the rate of expansion is 5 cities to 5 cities. Again, I think Freedom helping Fluffy keep up a little bit there. But presumably the Saber getting the value, quite a lot of iron and stone at the moment, 290 stone and 224 iron with that early slavery pickup. So fairly interesting. Seeing a second quarry come down in the cap for Saber. Not a very great quarry site. It's just a temperate tile, but it is adjacent to the other marble, so it will give a little bit of boost, including to the civics, which is quite valuable.
Yeah, I like ringing my marbles, especially if there is no wood sides. It's pretty decent stone.
Exactly that. You will need stone one way or the other. So if you can't get a good site, you'll have to take a bad site.
It's not even that bad.
Fluffy also having specialized that farmer to grab the marble. So both players thinking on a similar line there. And the second shrine coming out for Fluffy now. Have we seen any of the specialists get put into shrines for Saber? Yeah, seeing the apprentice acolyte being trained in the champ seat. So that is acolyte number 1. Has acolyte number 2 already happened? No, not yet. But I expect we will see, So there's a 2-turn treasury going up in Saber's capital, and that will give his seat enough time to grow one population, and then that presumably will be the second acolyte for Saber. So it does look like Saber is set up to probably take the religion, to take Zoro to begin with here, since he is set up to do that in something like 5 turns right now.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Fluffy is still probably another couple away, at least probably 8 turns, maybe 7 if he's got really good statements standing right now, which I'm not sure if he does. He does not.
I think it's a bit of a blunder to let your cleric opponent pick up Zoroastrianism if you start with divination and they don't. So
Yeah, he certainly has not prioritized that, he being Fluffy here. So, well, maybe I spoke too soon. There's another shrine I didn't see. There's a shrine in the, a shrine in the trader seat I did not see initially. So there is another shrine down for Fluffy. He does have 2 open queues in his capital and in the trader seat. So he could hypothetically this turn start an acolyte in both cities and either same turn or possibly 1 turn ahead beat Saber to Zoro. But does not look like he's doing that. Looks like he's chosen counselor. Oh, he doesn't have a population point anyways there. He's 2 turns away. He might be thinking about religion right now and running 2 turns of council to grow to another population point, but he's just going to be a couple turns late if he does that.
if he had another...
Yeah, is that an acolyte in the capital? Yes, it is.
Yeah. If he had another shrine, maybe he could rush the second apprentice.
Well, he does have a second shrine. He just doesn't have a third shrine, right? The second shrine is in
a second shrine in the cup, I mean, so you could...
Oh, I see, yeah.
Finish the first one, but I don't know if he has no citizens in 4 turns, so...
So it does look like, yeah, I think it will be about 6 turns before he gets a shot at Zoro, and I think Saber's going to have finished that in 4. But we'll see. All right, how else is going on? The scouts, one of Fluffy's scouts has started heading back, maybe to fill in some fog. Look around and see if that is what it's doing. It does seem to be busting a couple patches of fog he left on his way to get to Axum. Is Fluffy at war with, no. So Fluffy's making a small mistake here. Fluffy still at truce with Saber. As a schemer, every war is worth an order. So he should be at war with Saber. It's only costing him 1 order a turn right now, but a small mistake. And Axum's leader, Saber's leader, is ill here. Never fun. That would be unpleasant for him if he picked up an early death of his leader, and 44 is on the early side of that.
There are a ton of Thracians on this map, like almost only Thracians.
Yeah.
It would be fun to see a diplomat. And the horde of... It's better on strong because they get extra movement.
Yeah, and currently Fluffy, despite having access to a rider leader and thus, or rather a rider family and a leader for Carthage here, he does not have Swift. He's filled up his 3 strengths before that with strict, affable, and cunning. So no chance of Swift on Fluffy at the moment. Did war the Thracians. We've seen that now. He's cleared out at least one of the Thracian sites. Kind of a pain to get to that. Look at the mountain block between Tingus and the city that they've just settled. That's fairly interesting. You're definitely going to want to get established past that point, or that is a very difficult to defend city. Now, it's further enough back that I don't think that's going to be a problem this game. Your opponent is still miles away, but it's quite a blockage there for moving troops forward. There is a east-west river system on the southern part of that, which will help a bit with that movement, but it's not perfect, and it does end. So, I don't know. Yeah. Saber's layout on the coast like that, thinking ahead there, is going to be a lot of movement, and it will be online, for better or worse, much earlier than Fluffy's. Now, can he leverage that at all? Who knows? I don't think he's rushing straight to war, but maybe he is. Here comes the second acolyte, so it will finish in 3 turns out of Saber. 2 turns now out of his capital, so that would be Zoro in 3 turns on 31, it looks like. If we go back and I check on Fluffy, I bet you he started in, it will be this turn. He'll be starting probably in that trader city. Let's see if it is an acolyte. I think it's probably going to be, judging by his capital having produced one. But we'll see if that is the case or not.
Axum is actually ahead on cities. Like, that's kind of rare to see
65.
against Carthage, but well done.
Yeah. Yeah. Versus freedom too. So presumably that means there's some prioritization differences here of how often they are creating settlers here. Since
Yeah,
Fluffy
like
is not obligated to build military at all and has better overall growth production.
at one point,
Yeah,
Sabertooth was making 3 settlers and Carthage only 1, so and
yeah.
still
I
only
mean,
1
did
settler.
invest in a couple of specialists here, including in that trader seat. There's 2 specialists in that trader seat, with a third coming out now. That acolyte will be too late. It'll be too late by 2 turns. So Saber will be picking up Zoro here, barring some unforeseen thing like still 6 turns before the trader seat can reach developing, so it can't be rushed there. There's not another shrine being started in the capital, the one city that Fluffy has that can currently rush things. So it does look like Saber will be taking Zoro. And as Rincewind pointed out here, giving a family that has access already, giving a cleric nation access to Zoro is a bit spooky, because it lets them do the maximum damage that they can do with a religion.
Yeah. Not many cleric cities yet, but
Yeah, it's true. It's tough to make yourself settle cleric cities.
yeah.
Whether or not you're going to get them even to pay off for you is so much later in the game when you're spamming the settlers that it's tough to want to click that button. They're just so low value after that. The first one's great with the divine roll, and after that they're so medium. They're so bad. No, I'm not going to say medium. They're bad. Looking around here, I mean, this again, not a ton of groves on this map, but I'm trying to get a rough count on a side, maybe 7. Is that too high? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 or 9, maybe. Not a million, but a chunk. And if you're already going down that route for other reasons, if you want monasteries because they're already bonused and you have a fair number of cleric cities and you're thinking about Jebel because you want the bonus temples, you probably are going to end up picking up growth tech to make those monasteries just a little bit more valuable. I wonder if that will be the route Saber chooses or not.
Double scouts being built. I don't know if he has the orders for that many scouts, but we will see.
Yeah, but even posting them up somewhere will give him some information. So you're right. He may not be able to move them around as much as we'd like to see. Siam pointing out that Carthage can just transition into Judaism. That's true, but whereas the acolytes are science and culture early, 2 of each, which is quite a lot, the ranchers are a lot less appealing early. Maybe the horses. He does have 1 horse already in his borders. Maybe could get a second a bit later. It's not that he's going to be locked out of religions. It's going to be his religion comes on much slower, and he's going to have to invest another 60 local civics in 2 different locations to get that going, which is quite a lot after. That would be his 4th specialist in the trader city as well, which is starting to be a chunk. I wonder if we'll see him do that or not. No landowners to make that easy. Navigation coming out here for Axum, which is very good for them. They don't have a lot of tech, but that is going to be one of the ones that makes a difference for them. And they're probably actually on decent order count. If we look right now, Axum is 15 net orders pretty much, with another 8 in, another 3 in improvement. So about 18 orders a turn. And if I look at Fluffy in comparison, Fluffy is on 22 and 5, so 27 orders per turn. What is the major generator of difference here? We see 2 statesman cities, which is 2 orders. And is it just the tech? He already has serfdom, which is another 5. So that's 7 different there. Yeah. 14 uses of the schemer ability thus far, and it is turn 30. So it has slowed down a bit. It was pretty much every turn, or like 8/10 of a turn or something. 4/5, I guess, would be the easier math for that. And then now down to about half of the turns with schemer orders.
Yeah, Carthage has a ton of workers, actually. Like, he has the same amount of workers as a builder opponent, which is probably where his potential settlers went.
And even with those schemer orders, having been used so many times, the legitimacy actually favors Fluffy by 5, presumably because of the extra scouting. If I look around, how's Axum's overall vision? Axum still sees almost none of the map. Does not even see their full side yet. Hasn't reached the midpoint with their scout and hasn't scouted any of the southern part, although he's good scouting of the area that he is settled in right now. Whereas I'm pretty sure at this point, if I go back to Fluffy, I'm pretty sure Karth has just seen the entire map. Basically the entire map, with some patches still needing filling in, but both the north and south of all the points to get a sense of the definition of the map. So those double scout rider opening pretty strong for vision across the map. Double scout rider schemer, to be clear.
So there will be a lot of well tests probably for Carthage. It's very nice in this hill middle part.
I'm sorry, I missed the word. A lot of what?
The pell tests, or how you pronounce it.
Oh, I see. Oh, this gotcha.
Thracian.
Yeah, I understand now. The Thracian upgrades, yeah.
So if you can get to the middle, they will be super cool. But he's
yeah, although expensive to buy right now because he's killing them, right? He has to fight the Thracians to keep the campsites coming, so they're gonna fall off pretty hard.
Axum is quite close to the middle already, and Fluffy is not not very close. So
19 improvements on both sides, so that's dead even, neck and neck. Wealth is about 2.5 to 1 in Axum's favor. Specialists are 4 to 3 with Fluffy with 4, Axum with Saber with 3 here. And then Tex, that's the other big one. Tex and Science anyways. With Science now being still about double for Fluffy. 400 to 750-ish or 740-ish anyways. With the rate being 40 for Fluffy and 20 for Saber. So still 2 to 1 on Science. So in other words, looking at this, I should do worker count too, because you pointed that out, and I'm quite curious now as what that actually was. Where is the worker count? Workers produced 6 and 6, so you're correct. So what is Saber using this builder for then? What is it doing for him?
Well, he could make quick workers, but he can't support them with orders and expand and do everything at once. So
just had a civics rush of the elder shopkeeper for Saber in his capital, so now he is an elder shopkeeper as well. Expensive, but I get it. That's a super powerful specialist, and it hasn't been around for a while, or rather, it's been a while, and he hasn't built it yet. 32 turns in. And has Zoro gone yet? I mean, it must have, but did it? Yeah, okay. So Zoro is now Saber's. And what are we seeing? We're seeing I think this is, I think the solver found not a bug exactly. It was more like a behavior that wasn't the behavior we were expecting, I think, for how religions spread, or how they're found anyways. But as per normal, Zoro has founded in the champion seat, which has about 100% accuracy for me as well. And I believe because there's some underlying code in there that makes that more likely than we previously thought. But anyways, so Zoro in champion seat for Saber. He is building his first disciple there.
I guess pretty good growth.
Yeah, he did build that that granary earlier, and as you say, not bad growth in there at the moment. Not incredible, 14, but not bad either. How is it connected? Oh, the river from the capital hits the coastline, and then it's settled there, so that's why it gets the connected bonus. Okay. So all of Saber's cities that are either on rivers that connect to the strip of coastline or are on the coast will be connected here. I should look at how Fluffy's doing on his city connections. He is playing Carthage that gets a bonus gold income based on city connections. And it does look like he is nearly fully connected as well. but not on his coastal, which means he has not scouted a bit of fog between his capital and the water. So he's missing that free coastal connection he could have on Fluffy.
Yeah, that's so bad when you miss that little spot and you have to backtrack a scout or move around with
Yeah,
a worker or something.
he's got a
Right.
warrior in his cap though. He could bust
Ah,
that. He's probably just not tracking on it.
right.
It is something that if you're not thinking about city connections, you're not thinking about it, and then you'll be like, when you
Yeah.
do get that thought, he'll go probably look and see how easy it is to do it and kick himself. But until then, not so much, I guess.
Oh, he's moving sort of in that direction, but not looking like he's going for the fuck. Just moving ahead.
Axum up one city now, 7-6. 3 laws on Axum with slavery, serfdom, and divine rule. One of those being from the cleric settle, of course, and Fluffy on 3 laws as well: freedom, centralization, and serfdom. And we did see the ziggurat started on Saber. I don't know what turn it was. Not long ago. It's 9 turns remaining, but we did see a wonder start. Interesting, that was his first choice on this. It is a large map. You will be building a lot of improvements. It's going to be at its one of its better showings, I think, in a game like this on such a large map for 2 players. But there's a lot of good wonders in this game, and I'm surprised to see that Ziggurat was the highest prioritized one, ahead of Pyramids, ahead of Jerwin. I guess neither of them playing Sages, so Jerwin a little less great, and Saber having almost no vision on the southern mountain range, so maybe not be
Yeah.
thinking about what sites those can be on. But Saber has a ton of iron, and Jerwin is a mixed one where it takes iron and stone, in the same way that Colossus is also a mixed one. So he may find that, and also Lighthouse, which is not too bad, I suppose, on this map, although not amazing either. We may
The
see some of those come
Yazilikai
down
is
just
pretty
because they're
good
easy.
too
The what is,
on
sorry?
this. The Yazilikai is kinda good, especially if they have an
I
early
don't know a
religion.
lot about that wonder. Yeah. I suppose if he is going, is that the one that's, oh, it's state religion cities, 20%. Okay. Yeah, I don't see that one picked up very often. So
You can combine it with Necropolis as well if you go for politism.
oh,
It's a lot
Necro
of
is the
civics.
3 per pagan. Yeah. And I suppose with Saber setup, that would be very good if he would pick up. He's very likely going to be picking up polytheism early and putting a shrine in every city. So that would make all of his cities pagan. And then if he adopts a state religion as well as his pagan religion, that would be quite a lot of civics per turn, local civics per turn. Or he doesn't even have to do it, as I suppose, as a his pagan religion. He has Zoro. It could be Zoro he adopts as well.
Yeah.
This might be a good game with so large a map. It might be a good game to do an early tenant on your religion. I'm thinking particularly, I don't think Saber has access to rhetoric yet, but like an early dualism would play very nicely with his strategy, right? He's going to have 2 religions in every city. He's going to have a pagan religion in every city that he can, as soon as he can. And if he also gets Zoro there, that's 2 science per city for all of his cities. And his opponent is so far away, it's pretty unlikely his opponent gets the benefit from that in the near future. Could be
Yeah.
quite strong here.
And the early spread chance is super nice from getting theologies as well. Like Alcaraz got I think Revelation and Mythology, I think, and before monasticism, like very long time before monasticism, and I think it spread. Like it had 30% spread chance per turn.
Wow.
So
Oh,
you save a lot of disciple building if you can get it up early.
we are seeing a rancher from Fluffy, so he very likely is thinking about wanting a religion as well. It's built in his statesman capital. So if I look at his families, they're over 100 right now. So I think that's probably pumping out. Actually, I need to look. I don't remember what those have changed to. 5 civics, local civics a turn from the statesman bonus, which is quite nice. I wonder where he's considering putting his second one in. Maybe just waiting on population in Salde. He did rush. He did rush the rancher in Salde, so that's his second one. So he will get Judaism next. They'll both finish. Both ranchers finish next turn, and then the turn after he will get Judaism. So he now has access to religion as well. I wonder if Fluffy is tracking on dualism. He has clicked monasticism, so that is Fluffy's current tech. So getting that religion out right before getting the building that the religion triggers will be nice for him. And he does have sovereignty queued, so it does mean he's going through rhetoric. I wonder what we'll see for, maybe we'll see some early tenants added to religions. I mean, Fluffy has a ton of civics. That would be very easy for him to slap on 2 tenants right onto his new religion if he can get the disciples to do it. Well, it's true, as Spider pointed out in chat here, as Fred pointed out, there aren't a lot of dry tiles on this map. If I look right now, Fluffy has access to them in Neapolis, and I don't think Saber has access to them at all. Missed the fact that there was no arid in the capitals or early first expands. So I bet you're right. I bet you Ziggurat was maybe not his first choice, but it might still have been. I mean, this is probably one of the better maps for it, right? But perhaps not his first choice. I wonder if Fluffy is tracking on how rare arid tiles are and is considering, maybe not, maybe he doesn't really care about a civics discount as Carthage with 1,600 civics. But I wonder if he's tracking on the fact that he alone has access to arid tiles right now. That wire did not bust the fog, so the coastal cities still not connected, sadly.
Another scout for Sabertooth.
Putting him up to 3 scouts? Did he lose one? No.
No, he's making the 4th one currently.
So this is fairly interesting. Saber has pushed a slinger into the middle, attacking the Thracian site alone. It is a single slinger versus 4 hostile ranged units, but presumably this is a steadfast and in forest, so quite strong. But that is the last tier of symmetrical sites that he's attacking right now, and the middle sites are real close past that. So we will get to see this skipping of the bottom sites. But if you look over at Saber's lands, you can see the barbs moving in. This looks like a tribal raid of some sort. It's about the right time for it, right? Turn 30th, right? And we can see that string of barbs moving up towards his cleric cap.
Yeah. How many sides did you skip? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's quite a lot.
Yeah. We'll see if it pays off or hurts him.
Sort of.
Because Fluffy is expanded in this little rectangle right now, and Saber has much deeper penetration of the map with the way he's chosen to expand. Another barb in the back, though, this time undefended. The cleric city for Saber, south of his capital, is about to be harassed by a barb. No military in sight on that one. So either he's going to have to take some pillages, take some heal actions, or build another unit, which I'm sure is going to be quite annoying for him. It's a forced march scout to get to a safe spot. Still not at the midline, though. And we do have the 4th law available to Axum if he wants it now. He's just gotten the tech for centralization. He now has slavery, serfdom, divine rule, sitting on 500 civics and making a decision between centralization and vassal. Pretty nice. And what about Fluffy? Fluffy on his 4th law yet? I mean, he must be, right? Nope, not quite yet. Taking the tech path through monasticism first, which is a law tech. Yeah, I don't know if it's right or wrong, Scion. I'm actually very interested to see how it plays out for them both. If Saber can steal the mid sites by just getting there first and still stabilize the rest of his sites, that may be advantageous for him. He may also be overextended. It's kind of tough to tell.
Yeah. And champions are very nice, like middle cities, because of the extra defense.
Yeah, although the training bonus. So yes, they get the as you point out, they get the extra defensive bonus, but as Axum, he is relatively the biggest bonus for like training alone is the champ seat, right? You know, the 50% multiplier. The 2 per city is okay. It's not a bad bonus at all. It's the same all the military civs get. But I wonder, with what Saber has done, him picking up Zoro early, I wonder if Saber's thinking about a bunch of cleric cities to get that maximum value out of temples and monasteries. So you may want to place a bunch of cleric cities at this stage of the game. So I wonder if we'll see.
Not in the middle of the map, like he can back clear these and put the clerics here.
Clerics there. Yeah, I kind of agree. I think if most of your militaries, you want the predominant producer of your military to be the cities that you fight in if you can, because you want that same family bonus of 10% if you can. So if he is planning to fight on his side of the map, he may be thinking about putting those champion cities as defensive locations that also give him his maximum number of bonuses, for sure.
Yeah, that's especially if you get walls. Like, it's impossible to take a champion city, kind of. So I
I saw
kind of like
Fluffy do
them.
something interesting here. He has adopted Zoro in his coastal city. So this
Oh,
is, I kind of like this. And has he adopted the religion, the state religion too? I think he has. So if I understand, yeah, do understand this correctly. So he's gotten a cultural developing event. This is worth talking about, up in Lily, which is his only coastal city. And that has triggered their spread of Zoro to it. I guess it's possible that a natural spread there. I'm told that it can spread basically infinitely far, just a lower percentage chance for each one. So it might have been, I bet if I look at can I see the list of events that at the cities happen? I bet you it's a culture event. But either way, he's then adopted as his state religion Zoro, so that he can build
yeah.
Zoro disciples out of that city. And he's now building a Zoro disciple. I'm curious if he's looking to just double spread religion, so he has 2 religions in all of his cities, or if he's looking to potentially enhance Saber's religion with some lesser powered traits to screw up Saber's ability to get cleric-based religion across his entire empire. So it'll be interesting to see there what happens from that.
Yeah, did the same thing in one of my games. Like I stole Assyria's religion and spread it across my entire empire.
Yeah,
Uh,
it may be that plan. As you point out, there's some benefit to having just a second religion and getting all the benefits of that. As Spiders just pointed out in chat, it could be the idea of double monasteries, which is okay too. Monasteries kind of slow science, but they're very powerful. Monks are quite a nice specialist if you go that route. There's not enough groves really for me to be super excited about double monasteries, but perhaps they're good enough alone. I don't know. I think this is one of those areas where experience having done that strategy is going to inform how interested you are in doing that again. So Fluffy, being an extremely experienced player, I expect we will see what he thinks the optimal version of that is going to be, and I'm curious what that is because I don't know. I haven't had that show up enough that I use it very often. I've had a game recently where my opponent had a very powerful religion. It started spreading to me, and I happily adopted it and put it everywhere. But I also had a game where my opponent screwed up my religion by enhancing with tenets that weren't particularly good tenets deliberately to prevent mine from being very powerful. I'm quite curious which way he'll end up going. Yes, I expect he will, Spiders, my guess, do that. But switch back to a different religion later with all those extra civics, but I don't know yet. We're going to see what he chooses to do. So stone production quite slow here, about 70 for Saber and 30 for Fluffy. So a lot of powerful wonders in this game, but not a lot of access to stone. So I will be curious how that goes. Saber fighting off a series of barb invasions on the back, but he is moving some units down. And as you pointed out, Blush, he does have champion units, so that won't be quite as bad as it could be otherwise. And that coastal network is not complete, but he is building garrisons and barracks in his champ seat along the coastline, which is quite nice. I wish he had built those slightly in different order. I wish he'd gone barracks, garrison, barracks as opposed to barracks, barracks, garrison. But it's a nice to start connecting those tiles. And we are seeing barracks across Saber's empire. So he's thinking about having either officer investment or military production here, which is good at this stage of the game, I think, to be getting that laid down. So.
Another benefit of Fluffy's expansion is that he will have much better quarry sites compared to
Along the south there.
on coastal range basin. It's really good to get to the bottom mountain range, so you can get good quarries.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see. I do like Fluffy's city count here. Although maybe that last one, he's got 3 statesmen down in terms of how he's broken down his families, minimizing the number of trader and rider seats and cities, and maximizing the number of statesmen cities is always very nice for order economy. How are we on total city count? 7 for Axum and 7 for Carthage. We need to start calling them by the same. Either call them both by their nation or call them both by their name. I keep swapping one and one. Makes it awkward. Still hasn't busted the fog, though. He's got units on the coast, this being Fluffy here, but still no city. Oh, maybe it's not a matter of busting the fog. Maybe... Why are these cities not connected? Why
It is the
Lily
fog,
being...
like there is 2 ties
Yeah, there it goes.
still not connected.
He finally busted the fog with that worker, so now his coastal is connected to his cap, which is good. Again, Carthage gets that gold value for connected cities.
A lot of settlers. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Now, Fluffy does not have vision. He's moved both of his scouts back. Where's the second scout, actually? Maybe I missed that. Also, have we seen leader changes? No, not yet, right? Where's Fluffy's second scout? Maybe it died playing games with one of the sites? Did I just see the one? No, I see the second one now. Okay. So he has moved both of his scouts back a little bit, but the scout he has near the middle doesn't see the mid sites. I assume that he's looked at the tile count and realized he's not in the middle yet, but that means he has no sight on Saber aggressively expanding into the middle area like that. So even if he wanted to react, not only is he very far away from that, but he doesn't know what's happening yet. So if he is not there to swoop in and do something about it, Saber may very well gobble up those 2 center cities. I'm seeing a treasury level 2 in Saber's cap. Don't love seeing that, personally. If he's short on population, it looks like he is. He is Axum. He doesn't have Mint Coin 2 yet, but he's building Treasury 2, and he could be Festivaling, which is not a lovely play that often, but sometimes is what you need to do for population. Yeah. I think better than Treasury 2, but still has not finished his 6 mine ambition. Hilarious. I think if you pick that ambition, you kind of want to get that going fairly early, just because, you know, it's one of your first ambitions. You want that legitimacy and order boost.
I wonder if we will see coastal urban tiles from the builder. It would be kind of nice to connect up the coast.
That's a great idea. That is one of the... They did nerf that slightly. It's twice as expensive as it was before, and stone is expensive on this map, but I like what you're thinking, because what you're thinking about is a way that he can close that gap right now. And they both went straight into serfdom. None of them played around with colonies or flip-flopping between that. So they cannot currently buy tiles, and that is one way of buying tiles, essentially. So,
and this guy who is building the garrison at the champion seat, he can pop 2 urban tiles and it will close up this entire gap.
Yeah, that would be great. That'd be a nice play. Combo coming out of Saber. So he has his military drill up and has basically already built them. He's on 4 laws, and now he's getting his second military multiplier building coming out here. I wonder if we're going to see Saber push some unique units. You said I think that he quite likes his unique units. Maybe we'll see some actual aggression with them, or at least some production of them begin. Let's see, is Fluffy still on Freedom? I think yes. Yes, still running Freedom. And still on 3 laws. Still no ambassador. Sitting on 1,700 civics, just Carthage things, and he finishes monasticism in 2 turns. And maybe you're right, maybe Spider's right, rather. Maybe we will see the double monastery play. Quite expensive to do that, though, right? Not only for building them, wow. Interesting. So Fluffy just rushed a warrior. Civics rushed a warrior in his trader city, the one that was building the disciple. I guess he decided he needed another unit right this instant for clearing. Makes sense if he's got a bunch of settlers coming out.
Yeah, a lot of settlers.
She doesn't.
And not that many cleared sites.
Yeah. To your point, seeing Fluffy start to take advantage of his access to mountains, his statesman seat has 3 quarries down, as well as getting the double ore. That's going to be a monster site. It's not going to want to build with double ore. It's not really going to be wanting to build those decrees, but
yeah.
maybe he can do both somehow. Let's see what Fluffy's magic is like for that. More quarries against those mountains. So certainly Fluffy has identified that he wants more stone income, whether that's for wonders or barracks and garrisons or both. We'll see. Because he's building quarries pretty much everywhere right now. More quarries in the cap as well. And if we are Fluffy looking at Saber, what do we see? We see similar naive, which is not very representative, actually, of Saber's military. Fluffy does not have military drill. And remember, Saber's finished it, pretty much finished his barracks and is teching combo right now. So that might end up being a bit spooky for Fluffy if Saber tries to do something a little bit aggressive with that. Now, it's a long-ass combo. 31 science now coming out of Axum, and it's a 14-turn combo. 50 science coming out of Carthage, and finishing monasticism next turn. Do you think we'll see polytheism from Fluffy?
I think I would probably go for monasticism, like monotheism. And,
Really?
Well, I don't
So if you
know.
look at monotheism right now, he's only got Judaism in one
All right,
city.
I forgot that the Zoroastrianism thing.
And it's such a large map that I think you're going to want divine rule, polytheism, and eventually monotheism if you can do it.
Yeah.
We got a calamity down for Fluffy, a big flood, quite hitting a number of his cities. Did it pillage anything? It looks like it got one farm. Just the one farm, it looks like. A couple impassable tiles for a few turns, but not that big a deal right there. It's not like if you're Ninja settling PBM and you get the impassable barrier of invulnerability for 3 turns after forward settling it. So this one not quite as impactful as that. I mean, Saber's in pretty good spot to produce his unique unit too, right? Outside of not yet having a stronghold, which he presumably is going to be starting this turn in his champ seat, he does have a good store of iron from slavery. And that unit is just iron-based, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
It's an interesting unit. Disarm's a
iron.
sweet ability. Sorry, say that again?
Yeah, that's a lot of iron. I wasn't switched to his perspective, but
yeah. He's got a lot going on, though. I mean, it's funny. We saw that champ seat, and Sion pointed out that, one of the benefits of having all these pros in your champ seat is your champ seat gets culturally leveled up, and that is happening. But only one of those pros is online. They still give one culture when they're not online, so you're only getting essentially half value by not having those pros up yet. Yeah, both players. Spider pointing out that neither player has forestry yet, and both players teching for buildings that for techs that give buildings that build with wood. Monasteries on Fluffy's side and ranges on Saber's side. I mean, they're both playing traders, right? So presumably their income is still okay right now, and in fact, Saber's income is pretty decent across the board, excepting wood. And Fluffy, if I look, is also doing quite well across the board, except for wood and quite a bit more bank. So I assume what they're thinking right now is they will float the wood cost in gold until they have access to forestry.
And it's easier for the schemer to chop wood if they need it.
Yes. Although he has pretty much not touched that button again since last time we spoke about that.
Oh.
He's used it 14 times, and I think on turn 30, he had used it 13 times or something like that, right? So that was mostly front-loaded for him, the number of orders that he's been using. Yeah.
I keep
Both players,
spamming it.
keep spamming it. I think if I can, yeah, I think so too. But it will make his transition less painful because he won't be quite as in debt legitimacy-wise. 58 and 60 for these leaders. So we are going to see them start dying here relatively soon, one way or the other. And looking at the air side, we have Fluffy has a judge, which is a great second unit, even though the tension between a judge air and a schemer leader is always a bit painful for stats. And if we look at Saber working on let's see, a zealot air. Now, that's fairly interesting. I wonder if that, if I look at this timing, We're seeing officers come up, but we also see, you know, barracks is already done, and those done in a number of cities, not done in all the cities to be clear. And we see that range tech happening. Do you think Saber's thinking about a push with his next leader?
Yeah, it could be. He can spread his religion around, rush with training after he gets the zealot.
Yeah, I suppose he's not sitting on a lot of training points. He's at 220, making 100 a turn right now, so not a ton banked there, although presumably he's got another maybe somewhere in the vicinity of 10. I'm not going to give him 10 turns, but somewhere in the vicinity of like 5 to 10 turns, I expect to see that leader. You know, it's all chance based, but you know, somewhere around there. It's getting pretty old.
If he starts collecting his training now, I think you can
Yeah.
rush out like quite a few unique units.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that is the route he takes. I mean, he's certainly set up to do that. And champion, again, champions are, it's not an ore city, so I don't know. The champion seat is such a powerful seat that even if he isn't planning to go all out on that, he may find that just a bunch of his UUs come out of that pretty easily with so much localized training.
Yeah, I think I would just trade build the unique units in the seat and find another place to rush them. But I don't see another developing city around the front.
No, and but that champion seat is building a stronghold. 3 turns remaining on that, so I expect we're going to see some UUs come out of there, which will be fun. Every time I watch Saber play this game, things are happening. Like if you look at Sabah with you know, 2 pillaged tiles and 2 barbs running around, every game is like that with him. I think because he expands horizontally in most games as opposed to kind of, you know, he expands in this line, which has slowed down interestingly. Like he's taken one of those these are still symmetrical sites, right? So they're not the mid sites. He's taken one of those. He hasn't taken the other, and he's not yet taken the mid site. So he's
Lots
kind
of
of got
sorry, lots of barbarian action going on here in the middle too.
Yep. Yeah, yep. Gonna drain a lot of his orders. And these these 4 strength units are getting a bit old, right? So the barbs are now also 4 strength, the raiders. So his units are just stronger by that champion bonus. No more just raw stats stronger, right? So
Oh yeah,
me.
and he is making the urban snake at the top.
Yeah, does look like he's tiling the world right now, putting pavement down. So good for his coastal, and interestingly, that's a good way to bridge this gap because that middle site, the Danish site with the the Zoro religion spread to it already, like it's not super easy to connect to that city with the other coastal right now. So this will do that, and he will pick up the 2 other fish in his trader site if he wants that. Now it doesn't look
Yeah.
like he's really leveraging that site, despite this is nets. It probably hasn't built many settlers because it's kind of a later settle. This would be a great place for him to spam some settlers from to take the middle here. Would be that trader site, but he's building an officer there instead. So it may be a military plan more than actually I don't know, because if it's a military plan, he's still got to put the cities down, so he's got to get settlers from somewhere. I'm surprised I'm not seeing it from that city.
And yeah, if you look at the science, the difference is almost entirely the leader. Like he has the governing plus the raw stats is 18 science. So
Yeah, they're kind of neck and neck in specialists. Well, no, I read that wrong. I thought it said 9 to 8, but it's 9 to 6. So Fluffy does have 3 more specialists, 50% more specialists than Saber right now. The Saber's building a bunch of officers. And if we look at improvements, Fluffy, they were neck and neck. Fluffy's pulled ahead now. It's 44 for Fluffy to 36 to Saber. But as you say, a lot of that science being driven by that leader, and that leader is going to die sooner or later. So that may catch him up a bit. If I look at the total science, though, what's the damage done here at this stage? Science, science, science. All right, so that's still almost double. That hasn't really closed. It's 810 for Saber and 1400 for Fluffy for science right now, total accumulated science. So it's closed a little bit, that ratio, but not, no, it hasn't. It hasn't closed at all. It's basically the same as been all game, almost double the total accumulated science to Fluffy. I haven't really noticed many unit cards from either of them. I haven't been really watching for that. Certainly not the unit portion of that, but I don't know how many like boosts of various sorts they've taken. But that science is gonna take its toll eventually. Maybe these officers will get him back in the game.
Yeah.
So with monasticism finished, we do see a Zoro monastery coming out and another Zoro disciple being built. So it does look like Fluffy wants at least this religion somewhere. Has he given up on... No, he's getting Judaism as well. There's a Jewish disciple coming out of his trader cap right now, and another Jewish disciple building the monastery already. Is placed adjacent to the honey, so it is thinking about the grove adjacencies later. But it does look like he is planning to put a fair number of monasteries down. And did he go polytheism? He did. So we're now on exploration, polytheism, centralization, freedom, and serfdom on Fluffy. That is 5 laws. Does he have access to elephants anywhere?
There is one in the middle, but it's not in any city yet.
He has not made the project, so if he is thinking about elephants, he is not thinking about it quite yet, and maybe not thinking about it in his capital at all, depending. And as Fluffy looking at Saber, Saber's still similar naive. Yeah, I am curious what Fluffy's reaction will be. I'm actually curious what Saber's doing with these officers. Is this just a long-term investment? Is he just thinking science and eventual production? Or is he trying to do something with the timing here? Because he does have decent 4-law timing at the moment for getting a couple of his UUs out. But he's finished a Stronghold 2 and Apprentice Officer. Apprentice Officer? Right, the first tier, okay. Yeah. Yeah, because we're going to find out. The barbarians are now pillaging his capital. Are these rebels? Maybe this is a slavery rebellion? They are rebels. So they're going to be particularly nasty. Shutting off his fair. Oh no.
It's so draining to deal with rebels, especially in a time format. Like I hate it when I...
Well, a little trick that Saber didn't do here, but he could have, which is if you have the event that's going to spawn them, if you want to protect a building like that fair, you put a unit on the building before accepting the event, because the rebel will not spawn on your unit. So he could have moved that disciple onto the fair and then spawn the rebels. And then he might have to spam heal on that disciple or for a turn or two, or he might have to move it away eventually so it doesn't die. But that way he doesn't have to lose the shopkeeper, because now he's lost his elder shopkeeper and the fair multiplier until he gets that back.
Right.
And look at his gold. His gold's gone negative from that right off the bat.
I think that's more... only the fair, like, it's showing as 23 gold for me, and the shopkeeper gives another 70, I think, so 60.
We look at the city. Is that just from that? It might be. Yeah, not making a lot in that city, is he? Did his leader leave? Yeah, his leader died, so he's switched. So not only, so you're right, it isn't just the fair going down. It's also we had the leader transition. His zealot is now in charge. His builder is gone. And it looks like it happened this turn, since the mourning period is still at 4 years, which is the max duration for the mourning, right? It starts at 4 and only is 4 years. So it probably happened this turn. I wonder if those rebels were part of that event. I'm not really sure. I don't have the events well enough memorized to answer that exactly.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So looking through this, interesting choice for what Fluffy is putting down as Carthage with polytheism, so he can choose any of the shrines again. He's prioritizing the growth shrine. He's placing 2 more of them, both in the... I guess this is... Oh, I know why. Because these are the 2 sites that are building his disciples. And that's why he's prioritizing that growth shrine there. Okay. Did get the last marble for his capital via yet another shrine. But his rate of settlement, is that going right now? 10 cities for Carthage, 8 for Saber. I was going to say Fluffy's rate is slowed down, but it isn't. It's Saber's rate that's slowed down. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I suppose everyone's is slowed down when it's this far from places. But Saber's spending a fair chunk of his time and orders here dealing with rebels and barbs, right?
Yeah,
We see
he's
this
getting
every game
raided
Saber
very hard.
plays. Say that again.
Yeah, he's getting raided very hard everywhere.
But that's not random. That is a byproduct of the pattern that he's settled in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting to see.
Yeah, I had
See the
some
impact it has here.
rough single player experiences, so I try to be mindful of my expansion and even make peace with some tribes. Like here, it doesn't make much sense because you have to kill the Thracians eventually, but
Yeah, but something to slow that down a little bit. Yeah. I think what it actually needs to be from him is I think his units are just a little bit. If he's going to do this strategy, and I get what he's doing here, I think he needs a 5 strength unit to go along with it. Because I think the problem is his units are still a bit old, so it takes too many orders to kill these things in time, right? He takes too much damage from these barbs every single time. Every city I look at right now that has either barbs in it is either pillaged or there's like 3 units at 2 health kind of deal. So he's clearly struggling to easily fend this current barb invasion off here. And unfortunately, what that's doing is he's one set of cities away from the center line. If he's going to do the strategy of expanding rapidly to the east because he's trying to get the center cities, he needs to get those center cities. So we need to see that last little bit of effort put forth to get those middle cities to pay off for this strategy.
the unique unit coming out will certainly help with the raiders, but it's still a bit away.
Yeah. Let's see how quickly that champion seat puts it out. It will be a champion seat with 2 barracks, a infantry shrine, and now 2 officers. So, and it does have the governor though is not a multiplier. So we'll see. I'm not sure I like his zealot fighting out there. It's okay, I suppose, but his zealot would be a great governor. No, only 4 courage, maybe not. It's decent, but it would be an okay governor of his military capital if he wants to spam out a bunch of his unique units. I might prefer to see the multiplier being applied to his champ seat rather than just a little bit more combat strength on the board for a single unit.
Yeah, the urban snake is still going. Oh, he paved over the horse. That's
Paved over the horse.
yeah,
Psycho.
poor horse.
Minus half an order. I guess he just wants that coastal. Makes sense. But he lost his builder though, right? So that was the last turn he could have done that. So I guess he can still build off that point. But yeah. How are we on total order count? Saber at 21.6 with another 3 in improvements, so about 25. And if I swap over to Fluffy's order count, Fluffy just changed leaders as well, lost his schemer, I think, at this turn. Yep, and has picked up his judge. Fluffy's sitting at 22 plus 22 and a half plus 6. So pretty similar still at the moment. Although Saber is running Divine Rule, but not yet Polytheism, so can't get a shrine in every city. Doctrine tech coming out of Fluffy. Quite interesting. I don't think we've seen this a lot in this tournament yet. He's taking Doctrine ahead of military drill. So, yeah, it's kind of cool. So
Seems like he's going
I see
very
a couple
heavy into religion. Maybe even
exactly
tolerance and try to get a third religion. Or
yeah,
like
I
he
think
has
it's a pretty
Judaism,
cool
so
idea.
Christianity is probably his to take whenever he wants.
Yeah. I wonder if Saber will give him the time, because one of the things that's happening differently here, I mean, Saber is going to be busy with these barbs for a while, but let's assume he gets that under control in the next 5 to 10 turns of how all these raids happening on him. If Saber has a bunch of his military infrastructure in place, and this temple, this monastery into temple line that Fluffy has taken takes a little bit of time to pay off, right? His cities have not all flipped yet. He's still spreading religion, and he can't build monasteries into those cities until the religion is spread, and he can't build temples into those cities until the religion has spread. And he doesn't really have the orders to take advantage of doctrine quite yet. He can't rush things particularly efficiently right now because he doesn't have a ton of orders to do that, and his orders are busy. So I wonder at the timing here, there might be a window for Saber if Saber gets his barbs under control to at the very least, finish taking the middle before Fluffy can contest that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
another thing pointed out here. Go ahead.
there is a problem as well for Sabertooth. If he delays too much, these stations will upgrade to peltests, and he can just buy them there. Doesn't have to bring them back to upgrade.
That's a good
And
point.
it's quite nasty. But I guess the unique units can deal with them, but it's still quite nasty. The Highlander
Yeah,
promotion.
makes
And
it
the
much harder to
entire
deal with
middle is a
thing.
Highland.
Ooh, Fluffy's families are not happy with him. His Statesman city down to a minus 160 and his Rider city minus 40. Still doesn't have that ambassador played yet, and he's sitting at max civics overflowing civics right now. I'd really like to see him assign an ambassador. I don't know,
Yeah,
I feel like it goes without saying when you're minus 160, but
doesn't really have great options, but
yeah. Well, maybe it's time to pull. Where's the queen? Queen is governing somewhere, presumably. No, he does have good options. He's got a diplomat. He's got 2 diplomats there, one of which is worth 45 family opinion, although quite old, and a younger one at 30. That's okay. He's got to do something though for these standings. This is going to be in part because his new ruler doesn't have a lot of connections established, but also it's just that time of the game where you have to manage some family stuff. You're building up enough discontent. I do like where Spider's thoughts went. Spider said, no city with a particularly high accumulation of population yet, but thinking about the priests, essentially, the priest specialists giving scaling training based on the unspecialized number of citizens in a city. And I did take a look at Fluffy's growth, and one of his cities, the city spamming disciples at the moment, does have 26 growth a turn in there, and his next is around 20. We may see that become a little bit better another 20 turns or so, maybe start to see that be worth the payoff for that. But it is something to think about for the later game. Kind of exciting. It's nice to get some priest cities when you can. Back on Saber's side, 3 turns away from Compo. It feels like just yesterday I was saying it was 100 turns away or whatever it was that he started. So that's good, I guess. He's got to build some military, though. He's still... Oh, no. His Elder Shopkeeper is still pillaged. It's been pillaged now for 5 years. Poor guy. He's really got to get these barbs under control. Funny stuff. We are seeing one of... how do I say this? Do you know the DMT warriors here? The
no
hopped up
idea.
druggies themselves? No? Okay. Well, we'll call him as UU then, so I don't have to worry about pronouncing that. But we are seeing the first one 3 turns away.
Yeah, that's pretty fast. Can he rush them in the cap, maybe? It would be... no stronghold.
Yeah, I don't think he has Garrison even in there.
Ah,
I'm expecting we're going to see Fluffy's first wonder and Saber's second wonder coming out relatively soon here. They're both kind of hitting that stone stockpiles and civic stockpiles, where I think they'll be thinking about that when they get the time to do it.
I think Jebel is the main target.
Yeah, I think it's very valuable. It gets less valuable if you spent the time to tech for doctrine. But maybe not. Maybe it's still fine then. Maybe
If you have
if you don't
multiple
want to build them.
religions, you can still build more temples. So,
Yeah, it's true. I hadn't thought about that. You're right. It only gives you 1 temple, and if you have 2 religions, that's going to be 2 temples you need to build. So yeah, perhaps you're right. Perhaps that will be where Fluffy goes with that. Neither of them have the religion spread particularly well. If I look around right now at the religious stuff, Zorro is in 7 cities, 3 in Sabers and 4 in Fluffies, hilariously. And Judaism is in 4 cities, all on Fluffy's side. So Fluffy does have... I think some of those are overlapping, so he'll only get 1 temple, and the ones that overlap, his capital, for example, overlaps. But I think that otherwise, yeah, it's not bad. And he will have the time as he builds it to keep spreading.
They have no theologies. That's interesting.
I think it's because of the timing on building the disciples. I think the disciples are so busy right now spreading religion and building monasteries that he doesn't want to spend the time to make the disciple into a tenant. I saw you were looking at. Is he going to take this ballista? Ballista is a really powerful card and it comes at quite an early time. So I'm curious if Saber will spend the 6 turns of tech to pick up that ballista. That is a lot of tech time.
Yeah, it's
A
quite
very powerful
expensive.
unit.
But he doesn't really need steel with the warriors phalanx. I
No.
don't know.
And normally Phalanx would be a little bit more exciting because he might be wanting Divine Rule, but he already has Divine Rule because he's Clerics. So these
Yeah,
options are all pretty unexciting for him. Does he really want to spend 11 turns on coinage? I doubt it. So which of these is he taking? He probably doesn't care about steel almost ever again, right? Maybe if he gets up to barding or something where, but that's so far away. So really it is a weak
yeah,
spear pickup here or a ballista.
and you don't really need even Maceman either. So
Yeah.
only if
It
you
depends how
want
the
the
fighting
end
goes.
game.
Because although again, this is something I have to point out about unique units, which is they are not very training efficient to build
Alright.
as a whole. So he may want a more spammable unit than that, and he may want to build a 5 strength unit out of cities that have not yet hit developing, and there's a chunk of those in his empire right now. But I think you're right here. I think he's going to skip steel and spears here. And I think he's going to pick that ballista. We'll see where he goes with that. I could see spears being his backup plan on that.
Yeah, it's
And he's
like
probably feeling the pinch of how far in tech behind Fluffy is. He may not want to invest in another card. He might want to get
that
some
is very
actual
true.
science scored. Yeah.
And getting spears for elephants, as pointed out, uh, can have, but I don't really worry about elephants on this map. Depends on your
Yeah.
scouting. But you can see that there are not many elephants. Maybe the one close to the starting site.
Carthage at 24 and 5, so 29 total orders, and Exum at 22 and 5 at 27 total orders. So really close right now. But I bet you the reality of that is a little bit different because I think the number of orders per turn that Saber has to sink into fighting 5 Barb invasions right now is quite a bit higher than Fluffy, who I think is dealing with 0 right now, right? So all of Fluffy's orders are going towards his next goal of expanding. So here's the payoff of expanding in the kind of more saturated method that Fluffy has taken. But that said, Fluffy is still a couple expands away from the center point. Saber has this fleeting and disappearing timing to potentially grab those middle sites if he does it quick.
Wow, lots of workers for Carthage. 50.
But not many working, right? Like he may have 15
Yeah,
workers out, but
they are
only
just.
5 improving, right? Oh,
I
for
think they
Fluffy
are.
you're looking at right now?
No, for Fluffy, yeah.
Yeah.
He has only one working right now.
Oh, he only has 1 of 15?
Yeah.
So he's feeling the order crunch as well. Yeah, it's really too bad that his statesman seat has double ore in it. Because that just means there's not. He wants his decrees. He needs the orders, but he can't build them. I mean, he can, but he's given up so much localized training to do it. Just, minus 4 officers.
Yeah, every worker is just sitting around.
Yep. And Carthage, I think Carthage's shrines are quite good, but they're not shrines that are exciting to spam a bunch of, right? It's not the half order shrine. It's not the military production shrine. They're very synergetic with how Carthage plays, but not to have like 100 in your empire, right?
Yeah.
You're kind of happy with 4 Carthage shrines and being like, I don't really want more Carthage shrines.
Yeah, I don't really like them too much. I don't really play Carthage, so
Yeah, I refuse on moral grounds.
yeah. Lots of slingers being built. I'm not sure I would want to build more slingers right now, but
No, it's a bit
maybe.
bizarre, isn't it? I suppose he's thinking, I mean, he did just finish compo, so these are archers later when he gets around to chopping. So it's not useless. And he does need a bit more military right now, and he's probably struggling to figure out what he's building. But I agree, they don't feel great right now. There's a lot of forest on this map, and slingers are not very strong at this stage of the game for raw damage versus barbs. So is UU coming out with a full promotion? I'm not sure if that is, yeah, because the governor, the judge is strict. That's kind of nice for him. Went out with +1 promotion. First one out for Saber. City count is 11 for Carthage, 8 for Saber. These barbs are really slowing him down.
But he's still
Straining his
kind
orders.
of catching up in science now. Close the gap quite nicely.
45 to 54. Yeah, he's got a lot. I mean, he's been behind for more than 50 turns and he still hasn't caught up in terms of production. So he still is getting more behind, but his rate of getting behind is slower than it was before. So that's progress.
Lots of workers being built for Carthage when he already can't use them, so that's
Yeah, he
not
may have.
ideal either.
Wait, what? Oh, you don't mean? Yeah, I guess there's a couple workers for the new cities and whatnot, and I agree he is not using them very particularly well right now. But also a fair number of disciples coming out across his empire, 3 being built with that. So definitely the religion plan from Fluffy. I'm very curious to see how that plays out for him, because it is
Yeah.
the expensive religion plan. It's do it all. You build every disciple of every religion for all of your cities one at a time, and then you build all the buildings that come with it. None of it's free. That's a very expensive way to do this. I'm so shocked that all the wonders are still here. I get that their stone income isn't great, but Fluffy's sitting on 900 stone, 2,000 civics. Like, and he's got 1 million workers. Why doesn't he place a couple of these wonders down? Particularly Jebel, I'm looking at.
There is also a thing on these big maps and simultaneous, especially that you don't have the extra time for thinking on your opponent's turn and doing your worker moves and stuff. And it's really like I remember in my coastal ultra wide game, coastal basin ultra wide game, I was really struggling around this time.
Just getting a little bit overwhelmed with
Yeah,
the number of
and
things you're
like
tracking on. Yeah.
you only have 3 minutes instead of 6 to think about stuff and manage your economy, so
You know what else would be
it's quite
incredible
hard.
for Fluffy right now is Hanging Gardens is available. He's building disciples everywhere, or disciples and workers everywhere. It would be kind of sick if he, had another 20% on top of that. It'd be another nice wonder to pick up. I suppose it's very wood. I think Hanging Gardens has the wood cost built into it, right? Yeah, 200 wood. So that may not be easy for him to get right now. He's already negative wood and not and pretty order constrained, so that might not be a very good one for him from resource perspective. But it's quite good for his building goals right now. 8 cities to 11. Where's the next settler? How long?
It's in the middle.
One's out.
Getting built for Exxon.
Oh, I'm looking on Fluffy's side. He has one finished in Neapolis. That's the only one that he is building or finished in his empire right now. But it does look like that is going to get applied pretty quickly here, since he has a number of troops on the front line and no problems in his back line, unlike Saber. Again, Saber has done this every single game this tournament that I have seen of his. He has had these same barb problems in the same pattern. So maybe he's used to this and is okay with this kind of disruption, but it does seem like a lot of wasted resources, like orders per turn and repairs and lost income during this, etc., to be fighting this many barbs and rebels in your back line.
Also the attention span. Like it's really annoying to deal with them, and it disrupts me a lot when I have to deal with rebels or raiders. So,
Yeah.
and especially on simultaneous when you don't have time. Even worse.
Yeah. That's worth pointing out. They've played 50 turns now of Simul, so this is this Simul?
Yeah, still simultaneous.
Yeah. Okay. So as you say, there's no thinking involved outside of you hit your end turn and then you got to track on that. And it's funny too because you can see that a little bit. Neither of them have invested particularly heavily in their capitals for culture. They're slowly kind of ticking up. The Rider capital 13 years away from strong, and the Trader capital 15 years away from strong. And as Spider pointed out in chat right here, there are museum is in this game, which is a very strong wonder for this type of game, where you have large empires that are not in conflict from the get-go, and you may have the time to really leverage that science. So
looks like Exum went for Phalanx in the end, not the Ballista.
okay, yep, may just be worried about his science disadvantage, getting something on the board that's the least useless of those techs for him, although they're all fairly useless for him, but at least it does lead to something and maybe gives him some flexibility if we see a bunch of elephants show up. Giant earthquake hitting, not giant, I guess, just 2 cities, but hitting a bunch of units for Axum.
Looks like they are stopping.
Yep. All right, well, I mean, it's tough to call a zero conflict, zero interaction game exciting, but I did appreciate their pacing with both of them, with them playing on Simul. This made the first 50 turns only last 1 session as opposed to 2 sessions. So we have done our future casters a favor here and have narrated the the early game of an old world duel expansion with no interaction. I think some fairly interesting points to call it from here. Mostly the overall science is, I think, the biggest disadvantage for Axum, and he has actually brought that back a little bit. The ratio is about 1.5 right now to 1 for banked science, and the science per turn is
It's getting
in
quite
Fluffy's
close.
favor, but not massively.
Yeah, but
Yeah, why don't you do the rest of the stats? Go ahead.
the big wave of monasteries for Fluffy, we probably rocket him up, but we will see if he has the resources to do that, because that's a lot of wood. Okay, going through the stats.
Yeah, I don't think you have to do them 1 for 1, but maybe cherry pick some interesting ones. Might be worth looking at. Improvement count's a pretty good one. Number of workers is a pretty good one, and maybe total orders is another good one.
It's kind of close, but the schemer orders, of course. Lots of extra orders.
In that track.
Yeah. Like it's a lot of extra total orders that are not shown here. Is what I mean.
Oh yeah.
Food is very close. Iron also. Fluff is a lot more stone, which is, I think, because of the mountains, as I said.
Yep.
Wood is awful. Military score. This is quite close. The unique units will change this quite fast, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a small amount of military for both sides at this point in the game. And so I think you're right. Once they start investing in actually producing military, I think it's going to change rapidly. I think maybe the biggest difference here in terms of the empire layout here is the focus that it has been. Fluffy is very clearly focused on building religion for this game, and Saber has spent time setting up his military infrastructure with all those barracks and officer specialists.
Population is close. The little chat box I have here is hiding the stats for me. I tried to get out of that.
Okay. A hard stop up here. I'm going to let you recap those for viewers on your own. And thanks for the cast, man. Talk to you later.
Yeah. Specialists is even. A lot more worker units produced. Mostly the disciples, I think. Military units. Sabertooth way ahead, but these are mostly slingers. Mercenaries. 2 dead units. Wonder what those were. Technologies is 3 ahead for Fluffy. And that's it pretty much. Improvements is quite ahead for Cartridge. Sabertooth still hasn't finished his mine ambition, which is kind of sad. And the Danes probably can't be finished with only this site left. Yeah. So this is a lost legitimacy for sure. this one can be finished easily. Yeah. Ambitions for Fluffy. He has already completed 2 more of them. The theaters will take quite some time. He's just taking drama now, but yeah, we will finish it at some point. It may not be in the life of this ruler. He's already 43. We will see. Thanks for watching. Bye.